Okay, Sitka Gold put out news. In fact, I am pretty sure this news release came out the same ding dang day that all of this happened at the Eagle deposit. Okay, so it was 24th of June. That was about a week and a half ago. All right. Sitka announced they expanded their RC Gold project. And guess what? They acquired the adjoining ground at RC from Victoria Gold. You might say, well, look, this has absolutely nothing to do with the heap leach collapse or anything. This is a deal that had probably been underway for months, weeks, months. I don't know. It's taking forever. Just coincidence that it happened to come out. The announcement came out the same day as this heap leach. But the fact that Victoria was willing to let go of this property, which is pretty prime property, for effectively a share interest in Sitka, tells me that Victoria really had no ability to spend money on exploration, and they were more eager to hand it off to somebody who did have money and did have the passion than to pursue it themselves. And that's not unexpected when you have a company that's kind of living hand to mouth and doesn't have a lot of cash on hand. They don't have the ability to grow. That's a whole different debate. It's a tough industry, but look, Sitka, by picking up this ground, I think it did the right thing. They have an amazing consolidated property position now. We'll take a look at that with some actually outstanding results, drill results. Look at that, 20.46 gram gold over 10.7 meters. Kevin and Tavi, there you go. Discovery level hole. Boom, right there on a piece of ground that they just picked up. Okay. The next one over 1.87 over 42.6. Not quite 100 gram meter, but pretty dang close. Okay. And the others below. Anyway, we'll touch more on that in a minute. Go to the next slide. Okay, these two maps simply show you a before and after picture. So that blue block that's shown in the left-hand side, upper left, that's the piece that Victoria Gold held. And it's not a small block. Look at the scale bar down there, just above the name Sitka Gold. Okay, that's a 12-kilometer line there, the black and white line. So that block up there is about 6 or 7 kilometers, I think, east-west, and then another 6 or so kilometers north-south. That's like 36, 37 square kilometers or something. It's a big piece of ground. And on that ground are actually some of these reduced granite intrusions. Okay, so it's a natural fit how these two, the geology is seamless across the two. Okay, so to see it consolidated, I think is a wonderful thing. You can see that in the right-hand image here. Go to the next slide. Okay, and then this is a close-up of that area. The yellow in this case, or the yellowy orange, is that Victoria Gold piece, and this gives you a zoom in on the area. You can see the reduced intrusions and the red stippled patterns, and you can also see some purplish ovals where they highlight areas that were drilled. Okay, so there have been drill holes in 3 areas here, 3 notable areas: contact zone, the Roscoe zone, and then this bear paw breccia zone down in the southern area. Okay, and there's some pretty darn good numbers down there. I mean, like that bear pot, look at that, 48 point something meters of 1.69, 52.9 to 2.25. Look, I love grade in these reduced intrusion systems, and I've said this many times. I'd like to see grade. It's the ones that have grade that are going to be the most, in my view, the most productive and probably the most profitable. Okay, and that's why I like Snowline. Okay, the other thing is you're probably not going to heap leach higher grade material like that. You're probably going to have a milling operation. Not that that's the be all and end all. Like, I'm not trying to, cast one against the other, but I'm just saying this would probably, with higher grade, probably not going to do heap leach. Okay, you simply wouldn't want to lose that gold. And the heap leach, you might get 60%, 70% recovery if you're lucky. Yeah, you're not going to throw out that much gold. So you're definitely going to want to focus on milling. Look, that contact zone, that's where that high grade is. Okay, we know already up at the Blackjack deposit, they've hit some pretty high grades. Those 2 holes they had earlier this year, those were really strong intervals, and they're leading down to the south there to that Puckleman, I think it is, stock, or in that area. These are all connected, guys. Just think of this as like imagine a cow tipped upside down and the udders are poking up in the air. Okay. That's the way you should think of these reduced intrusions. They all lead down to effectively one mothership. They're all connected. Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay. Shortly after this, in fact, this week they announced an expanded exploration program, and that is going to be dedicated to this newly acquired Clear Creek property that they acquired from Victoria. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I realize I'm kind of dragging here, so I'm going to move it, step up the pace. Okay, so here we can see some data presented. This is a very similar image to what I showed a few slides back. It shows you all of those previous drill areas. Those are those purple ovals that you see in there. They're kind of hard to see with all the colors there, but they also have soil data that they've extended from the previous part, their existing RC property, down onto the Clear Creek property. And you can see the continuity is seamless. Okay, the gold system just right across the boundary. There's no question that this was a critical piece of ground that is absolutely certainly part of the overall system. Absolutely no question. Okay, this is one of the biggest reduced intrusive systems I've ever seen. Okay, I know Valley, wonderful deposit. Wouldn't disparage it one iota. It's a wonderful deposit, and I think Snowline is going to make additional discoveries as well. But I've looked at a lot of these things. I've spent a better part of my career farting around with these types of systems. Okay, way back in 1992, I think it was. I worked at the Zhoroy deposit, which is in Kyrgyzstan. It was right after the Soviet breakup, and I think I worked for MK Gold at the time. Learned about reduced intrusions the hard way. I mean, I went to Fort Knox the day they opened the mine. I was up there. That was 1995 or six, I think. I spent quite a few years chasing these things in various parts of the world, Nevada and elsewhere, and Montana and all over. Anyway, I know these systems, and man, when I'm telling you, when I'm seeing a big one, a big strong one, this is a big strong one. It's got the grade. Okay, grade. Anything that's kind of 1.x gram, or heaven help us, if it's 2+ gram, systems that make those kind of grades, those are the winners in this type of geology. All right, and I think this property is going to pay off in spades for Sitka. I think there's a wonderful acquisition. Go to the next slide. Okay, this shows you a close-up of some of the drilling at this Rosh Gobel. I don't know how you say it, Rosh Gobel intrusion. And these two holes in particular, 50.3 meters, 1.07, 67.1 meters, 1.03. These are shallow RC holes. They're RC holes that were drilled eons ago, like I think in the 1990s. Okay, why Victoria hadn't done anything? Well, they didn't have any money. Okay, so let's look at this in cross section. Go to the next slide. Now let your mind wander. Okay, just for a second. Okay, look at these holes. They're very shallow, but those two holes right there in the middle, those are the ones that hit those long intervals. The guys here at Sitka think that there's a corridor. Like basically you have a deposit inside of this giant intrusion, and they only nicked the tippy top of it. Okay, Matt, you could fit a valley or two in this image, right there. And they want to drill big. Okay, they think big. I love this. Okay, thank you so much. Core and his team, we must use telepathy or think alike. I don't know. But look at that hole they have planned, 24A. Look at that blue line. It goes clear across the whole shooting match. You think that might hit some? Look, if there's a big zone of gold here, that could be a killer hole. Okay, maybe we see a discovery here like Valley. Okay, something like that. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, go to the next slide. Okay, they're also going to do work, boots on the ground work. Now, this image is slightly shifted northward. Okay, so the yellow jiggy jag line is the Clear Creek property. That's to the south. That's where those new intrusions they have are. And then we can see the area to the north where they've been drilling, like the Blackjack deposit, Niagara deposit up there. This is all part of one big picture, but you can see now their overall plan here. They know they have some really good numbers out of this contact zone. You know, that 10.7 to 20.46. Man, when I see that, it makes me think. I remember at Giroy, we had a high grade plum in there. It was kind of a structural zone, a banana shaped structural zone in Plainview, and it probably had 2 or 3 million ounces at a very high grade, like 15 gram or something. Okay, if they have something like that here, that can make a mine right there. Just that. Okay. There's also other intercepts here 28 or what is it 38 meters 1.54 gram 74 1.01. Those are nice numbers. Great, and we're seeing it. These guys basically want to test this area, start pulling this picture together here. We should have a lot of really nice news coming out of this company over the next few months. All right, go to the next slide. I'm almost done, guys. Okay, Lion One had an announcement that included an update about production and the mine activity, as well as some exploration news. Okay, and I found this encouraging. Okay, to refresh everybody's memory, Lion One is in they're not at they're I don't want to call it experimental, but they're ramping up what started as an experimental mine, and now they're ramping it up to we'll call it more of a commercial scale mine. Okay, and you can see the production has gone asymptotic here. Won't continue forever. You can't just go up and up and up, but at least we're seeing them ramp up gold production to a pretty respectable level for starting a mine from scratch, putting declines down, having a lot of development work too, and then to start to see gold come out more and more so here. Very encouraging. This trend, I think, is very healthy. It took a little bit longer to kind of get this ramp up in. I'm not being critical of anybody. It's, I know that they've been working their tail off down there, but it is really nice to see this finally come to fruition. And I certainly hope that their creditors appreciate this kind of performance, because I think that they can make it. I think this could be a very good success. It reminds me of how K92 got started. Like it started out a bit slow, and they kind of had to bootstrap things, cowboy. But then look at K92 now, very successful operation. Maybe we can have a similar result here. Go to the next slide. The mill, the throughput has been ramped up as well. June projection shown in red there. I don't know what the final number was, but it's about 11,000 tons per month right now. Okay, and if they can hold that, that's quite a bit. That's a bit over what 300, almost 400 tons per day. But they're going to ramp up further. I think they're going to shoot for 600 or 700 tons per day. So I think we'll see this resume its upward progression. Go to the next slide. And then on the exploration side, they had some really interesting results. Now, this is to the south of the Tatu vein system. You can get a sense of the lodes and the workings up there in the pink squiggly lines. This is basically golden soils. Yeah, there was some data down here, but this really fleshes out the data better. And you can see there's a natural extension of the Tatu vein system. I've always felt it could extend in this direction. I'm glad to see him do the work. The topography does rise a bit there. I think that was the biggest challenge for drilling here previously. But look, that could double the footprint of the Tatu system right there. Go to the next slide. And then they restated, there we go. They restated the resource. This is really just a rehash of the resource that they came out with, I think about 3 or 4 years ago. It's not really that big of a change. I think the grade has actually improved a bit over that one, using a 3 gram cutoff. You kind of compare apples to apples. But, right now, this is a good place for this mine to be. It's got about a bit over 500,000 ounces indicated and inferred. Like, you're never going to have a measured and indicated exclusively like a big number for a deposit like this. This is how you grow deposits like this. You start with this. You open up new ground, open up new lodes, drill some more. You go a bit deeper. Look, a lot of that stuff that was hit a couple of years ago, the high grade, ain't even in here. Okay, so yeah, this thing will grow. I'm not too worried about it. Some people are like, I don't fuss too much. Fosterville, for example, for many years didn't have more than say 200,000 ounces in front of it, and look at what happened there. Okay, go to the next slide. Okay, and then one last note. Nevada King put out some news. They're finally drilling this East Ridge target, which is lies east of the pit at Atlanta. I hauled my big ass up there one time a couple of years ago when I went out to site. I've walked up the switchback roads, pretty steep hill, but I managed to get up there, and I think it looks like a very attractive target. In fact, this block might be the upthrown half of the Atlanta deposit. They did some geophysics on this, the geophysics being CSAMT, and they can see a pretty compelling anomaly here. They are drilling there now. Don't know what they're hitting yet, but we'll probably find out soon. Go to the next slide. The CS to AMT, though, shows that there's a corridor there, though, of rock that if you start over on the left-hand side, okay, there's the WAGZ, but there's the AMFZ, basically it's the fault zone, the Atlanta fault zone. See that blue corridor? Look at that rock steps over. That's my impression, is that the rest of the ore body could be actually uplift over here to the right. My two bets. They are also arguing that this cross-cutting feature is squeaking its way up there could be an intrusive plume. And I'm not so. I think it's a structure, but whatever. The point is, if they hit here, this could blow this thing wide open. It could actually expand this thing dramatically. So let's see what they come up with. Okay.